And the first we got going on here is big, tall, giant guy, James Cole Manning the Third here.
All right, there's my pop for you. Give it up for my dad. He's here, and I put him to work. Yeah, that's right. Welcome, everyone, to comedy, presented by Eugene Comedy Crescendo. But I am James Manning III, and I feel like when I get on stage, usually people are a little uncomfortable. They're like, I don't know about this guy. 50% could be okay, 50% probably an asshole, right? I don't know. That's the way I feel about it. But I'm one of the good ones, everyone. It's like, maybe a little uncomfortable from this region over here. That's okay. I feel like maybe I'm that dude who crawled off a movie set that exclusively tells people not to go down that road, you know? Like I should be holding a lantern up or something like, what are y'all doing out here? Ain't no campsites up that road. And then they're rude to me, I'll just be like, yep. Well, Leatherface, you better get your chainsaw running. Hey, Jason, sharpen your machete because you got some kids coming to camp. That's all. Well, if you can't tell, I've spent a lot of time in the bar. Usually I'm doing comedy in the bar. It's a little different situation. It's not brightly lit. It doesn't smell as good as it does out here. Actually, I go to this one bar in Eugene, and I've been going there for so long that I saw the same bartender pregnant twice. That's some commitment, right? Yeah. I go in there, and she's like, you've been coming here a long time, man. What's your name? I'm like, oh, am I like part of the crew now? Do I get my own mug? Yeah, all right. And sometimes you want to go where one person knows your name, right? Weird stuff happens to you in the bars, right? You're going to the bar. I'm going in one time, and all of a sudden I just feel this face, like this hand coming towards my face, right? I'm like, whoa, buddy, what are you doing? He's like, I wanted to touch your beard. I'm like, well, you have to ask. Can I touch your beard? No! I don't want your greasy pee-pee fingers in my beard. That seems, I don't know why anybody thinks they can just do that. I mean, don't activate my kung fu, man. Coming out of, there's like a blind spot behind me. I'm so tall, I can't see anything back here. Like, I gotta be careful when I need a backup sound or something. I don't know, I'm so awkward too. Like when I'm in the bars, like I was sitting there and I was talking to this girl at the bar, and she was drunk. And I knew she was drunk because she was talking to me. And I was like nudging her, hey, you should wake up and probably call yourself a cab home, Oh, well, that's so sweet. She leans in and kisses me. And I'm like, oh, thank you. Because that's what you're supposed to say, right? Thank you. All right. Put that one in my pocket later. I'm much less of a Don Juan and much more of a Don Knotts. That's really how it is. Gotta get her home safe, Andy. It's not my fault, I got the redneck-titis, It's just those of us who were born with a double dose of cowboy. That's all that is. I saw this guy one time, he was pushing his boots down the street with a big old cowboy hat on a longboard. And I was like, me and that guy. Redneck-titis. When you got redneck-titis, you think about things like, why don't they have 24-hour tool stores? Well, the reason is if someone comes in looking for a nail gun at 2 o'clock in the morning, should you really sell it to them? Probably not. That guy's gonna end up stapling pennies to the sidewalk. That's what's gonna happen. Or if you have redneck-titis, you might like to drink beer, of course. I like to drink beer. But my favorite place to drink beer is actually in the shower. Hot shower, cold beer, redneck spa. That's how Don't be afraid, I might be a redneck, but I'm one of the good ones, I love everybody. Everybody have a good time, and I have some things in my truck that can help you. That's really, I've just been waiting to use that come along, I don't know how many times I've rescued people by having jumper cables Like I was in Seattle one time and somebody came up to me and they're like, "Oh, do you have jumper cables?" I was like, "Sure. I look like I have jumper cables, don't I?" It's just like, in my redneck heritage, I looked up fishing and how we actually got the name, how we come to call it fishing. Well, the two first fishermen were sitting there and they looked at each other and one asked the other, "Hey, what do we call this?" And the other guy said, "Well, we have to call it fishing because hooking's already taken." Where do you go with that, right? It's just like people find out I play a little music, I love to play country music. And some real smart guy comes up to me and he's like, "Well, you like to play music? Well, how's it feel to be a minstrel?" I say, "Hey, it goes in cycles." What? You know what? Okay, I'll take the groan. It's not a laugh, but it is making a deep emotional connection. It's just like, okay, I heard that Michelle Obama actually has a low-grade depression, and I thought, wow, rich people getting depression? What are they gonna get next? Jobs? Hey, all right, I'll take the groans. I was going for groans on that one. Too far. You need to donate more money if you don't like that joke. That's what I'm saying. That is also not a fundraiser joke, I found out. Well, America's weird like that, right? Like, actually, I think there's probably more people in America that identify with the Free Britney movement than they do the Free Tibet movement. You don't have anybody out there on the internet like, "Leave Tibet alone! Leave him alone!" I got a couple of chuckles out of that one. I was like trying to read it. I don't know. Not a big Britney fan. Okay. Or it's like, yeah, sometimes I enjoy the cannabis, Mostly because it makes me spin around in my kitchen wondering what the hell I'm doing there. I'm gonna go over here to my bedroom now, and I still don't know what I'm doing. Okay. Yeah, y'all need church. Pot church, let's go there. I assume we'll be like, "Hello and welcome everyone to the First Church of Cannabis. And join me in presenting our love for the sweet lady flower. And I'll be passing around a plate, and then you can donate anything you may be able, what a hash, weed or dabs, whatever you may have, so the less fortunate, I would assume pot church would be about like this. Right? Please open your cannabis Bibles to the Book of Nelson, and we will talk about Farm Aid 1997. If weed was bad for you, Willie Nelson would be dead. Stone dead in the 70s. He's the only one still around. I think we're onto something there. He probably eats a lot less ice cream than I do. I don't know. Ice cream. That reminds me. I heard this radio, it's like this, on the radio, everybody's heard it, nausea, upset stomach, indigestion. But the part that got me was diarrhea. Whoa. What was this guy's big break? We're gonna bring in a professional singer, and we just need you to sing this one word right here. And you better really sing it too, all right? Diarrhea. Okay. This is like, have you ever seen that there's like a naked lady laying down and they're like eating sushi and stuff off of her? I'm like, what is going on here, You got too much money, man. You need to get her a bathrobe and a cocktail, stat. You'd never see the inverse of that, right? Me showing up like, "Hey, where am I laying down?" We can't put the Velveeta directly in my belly button anymore, you guys. Get stuck in the hairs. You don't want to eat off of guys, Nobody's eating off of guys but ourselves. You don't want to eat off of guys anyway. You'll probably get diarrhea. Oh, geez. That was fun. I feel like I want to be a model, but there's only certain things I can model, right? I'm thinking backpacks. Maybe this shirt? Tools, yeah. Yeah, if anybody wants to pay me to like hold up a hammer or something, I'm for it. Yeah, it would just me being on a calendar like. You ever think of something like ice cream, you know? I went to the store, I was gonna buy some ice cream. I decided to get the Magnum ice cream bar because that's the one that fits, you know? Hey, what? I got almonds for her pleasure, come on. Hey, that's not a dirty joke because the information in your head is what makes that joke dirty. It's not mine. Oh, geez. This reminds me of a time that I once spilled burrito juice on my dog's head. Yeah, I was eating a burrito and then just some of the juice just happened to spill out onto his head. And I felt bad because he's only got one eye and he looked up at me and like, hey man, that's the one place I can't lick. You know, so I cleaned his head off and I was like, later on I was scratching him and I was wondering, so I smelt it and I was like, oh, it smelled like burritos. I turned my dog into a scratch and sniff. But aren't all dogs scratch and sniffs? I guess I gotta take a little sticker that says burrito, put it on his head. All right. Well, what a delayed reaction on that one. Like, Oprah's got a TV network, you know? She's got her own TV network, and they're launching a new line of daytime dramas. Anybody heard about this? They're calling them soap operas? It's wild. I don't know. Okay, everybody. I think that's gonna be about time for me. So, appreciate you coming out. Hey, I'm James Manning III.
All right, big hand, James Manning III. What do you say, James? Oh! Well, we got some more comedy coming up for you. Here, I'd like to thank James Blame and the comedy Crescendo for bringing this to you out here at Chez. Yeah. Right now, we got a young lady, really good-looking young lady here. Jamie Colton. Come on up, Jamie.
I've been waiting to match this purple lipstick with this mic cover. Now is the chance. All right, so I just want to let you guys know that I am bipartisan. I support the Beavers and the Ducks. But these girls are not bipartisan, okay? When my top is not on, this one is swinging as far left as she can and donating to Bernie. And then this one's like turning on Fox News. I'm like, what? They don't see eye to eye, these two. But I force them to be friends, you know, in the Senate. So, yeah, I was watching TV the other day and I heard that at any given moment, humans have a credit card's worth of plastic just floating around in our bodies. Kind of scary. But for me, it was exciting because it's the first credit card I've been approved for, guys. So thank you. So now I just go around town trying to creative tap pay. You know, I'm like, do you take credit? Is this gonna work? Just charge it. Yeah. So I'm almost 30. I feel like I'm being pulled in a lot of directions. You know, it's like, should I use my arts degree to become a NFT imaginary real estate agent? Is that gonna be a thing? Can I make money doing that? No, I'm like, should I get an OnlyFans? Okay, usually I get better feedback than that, so duly noted. Or I'm like, should I get my master's degree? But I think I would need the OnlyFans to afford grad school, so I don't know. I even like went down the rabbit hole trying to donate my eggs. Has anyone here tried to do that? Was it successful? Okay, yeah, it's like, it's so hard. It is so hard, you guys. It's like the LSAT, okay? So I got on there and they're like, question number 1, well, thank you so much for your interest in the Peace Tree Egg Donation Station, you know. And I was just thinking in my head before I got into it, I was like, yeah, a couple of hormone shots, lay a few eggs, $8,000. Like, who wouldn't want that? But no. So they're like, okay, question number 1. Has anybody in your family ever been sick for more than 2 consecutive days? It's like, yeah. Gonna say yeah. Oh, bummer. Okay. Question number 2. Have you ever thrown something away that you knew could have been recycled? It's like, what? Probably on vacation, you know? And then they were like, oh, okay. Question number 3. What is your max streak on Wordle? And I was like, Hutch was really hard, okay? I think I'm at like 20 something, and they were like, oh, okay. All right, next question. How often do you work out, and when was the last time you were at the gym? And they were like, oh, thank you so much, but you took too long on that one, so we're gonna go a different direction. You're not healthy and not a good choice, so goodbye. And it was pretty sad. At first I was like, wow, are my eggs the ones like at, you know, natural grocers that everyone's looked at that have a few cracks, and they're like, we'll just adopt more Australian Shepherds, you know? But no, I was like, if these eggs aren't good enough for Greg and Carol doing online embryo shopping, like, are they good enough for me? But it's fine, you guys, it's fine, because you know why? I'm a dog mom. And yeah, give it up for dog moms everywhere, thank you. And I got my dog's DNA tested, because I'm white, and that's what white people do. Has anyone here tested their dog's DNA? What do we have in common? No, it's super fun, super fun. The DNA results were great. It was like 49% German Shepherd, and so I was like, okay. This makes sense. He's going through a lot with his ancestral trauma because he has police dogs in his past. And now he lives with people that work legally in the cannabis industry and are all around crazy. And so he's really struggling with that. He's actually been prescribed Prozac, and he, you know, has Xanax for the really hard times. Yeah, I know so much about him. I know he's an older dog, so I know his like kidney levels, his liver levels, his hemoglobin, all these things about him. And he's on Prozac. I'm like, man, when was the last time I went to the vet? Like, I know everything about my dog, but I do not know my own blood type, you guys. It's like, maybe I should look into a doctor. But no, the dog DNA was really fun. Another thing that came up on it was like 18% drag queen. And I was like, oh my God, this explains why on dog walks people are like, his eyeliner is so symmetrical. How does he do that? It's gorgeous. Maybe he's born with it. But no, he's the best dog ever. It also came back with like 1% Boston Terrier. I was like, really? Are you sure? Is that true? I don't know how they figure it out. Science. I have an art degree, so what are you gonna do? So I've lived in Eugene 7 years now, and it finally happened. I got confused for a homeless person. So I don't wear my poncho to open mics anymore, and I always wear makeup. So no, it was another comic, and he was like, "Oh, sorry, Jamie, I really like your poncho." It's like, all right, cool. No, Eugene's a weird place, you know. I feel like there's more people that have scobies for kombucha than like car insurance. It's that kind of place. Yeah, I was like, I do that joke in town. I'm like, this crowd's gonna know what a SCOBY is. Yeah, so it's funny. I used to trade weed to get my nails done. That was cool. It's currency. Anyone else made trades before? Don't lie. Yeah, okay. It's really great. So we were at my friend's house, and she has a little salon there, and we start doing the nails, and we're smoking a joint inside, and then we weren't thinking, but no windows or doors were open at all. So we're just like hotboxing a salon with chemicals at this point. And the acrylic is on my nails, and I take a big inhale of the joint and the chemicals, and I was lost. I was like Joe Biden. I didn't know who I was, didn't know where I was. Like Rue from Euphoria. Like, it was terrifying. So I can't hang. I'm not good at chemicals, so that's probably good. But no, it's a good learning experience. I just know that I'm not cut out to do drugs. I had a little mirror one time, and my roommates found it, and they were like, "Jamie, is this your drug mirror?" And I was like, "What? No. Oh, Yeah. Yes, it is. That's not eyeshadow. Nope. Nope. Yeah, so I was with my sister one time and we were camping. Well, people were camping near us. We stayed in a cabin, but it was really close to camping. And she had her car outside and the windows were like down a couple inches overnight. And we didn't think about it, but she had some cat treats or dog treats like on the front seat, and some raccoons had a rager in her car. Like there were handprints all over the inside, all over the outside where they shouldn't be, just like the Supreme Court's hands on my uterus, am I right? Should not be there. But the raccoons did not care at all. They like covered the cat treats, they ground them down, and then one raccoon was like, wait man, I got really bad heartburn. Were those cat treats like pepperoni or something? Like, what are those? And then they found the Tums. Now, I don't know if you've ever seen the aftermath of a party of raccoons eating an entire Costco thing of Tums, but it's a mess. It was like a scene from Blow with Johnny Depp, but raccoons doing lines of Tums. I mean, it was a lot. It was a lot. So she had to get her car detailed, though. What a nightmare. Has anyone here ever drank too much and done something a little embarrassing? Never, of course. Well, I'll be vulnerable and I'll share one of my experiences. I was still living with my parents, and you know, I was here, but I wasn't really here. You know, I got home and I instead of taking a left to the bathroom, I took a right to my parents' hamper. And you know, this was like end of the night. Like I haven't peed in 12 beers, so this was like an unstoppable stream. You know, and I get up there and I'm on the hamper, and my mom wakes up and she's like, Jamie, what are you doing, honey? What? Hello, hello, what are you doing? And I also have another weird habit when I'm a little far gone, so this is what came out. I was like, oh hey mom, I'm just rocking a proper leak, mate. How are you? Have you done my mate? Have you brought out? And she was just like, she put me to bed, you know. And then the next morning she's like, hey honey, how was your night, huh? And I was like, oh, it was so fun. I made it home from the campfire. We had like too many mirror ponds, you know, but I mean, it was so fun. And she's like, oh, well, I was up all night doing laundry. I was like, oh no, did one of the dogs have an accident? And she's like, no, someone took a leak in my hamper. So I moved out. There was no coming back from that. Nope. So I was a huge nerd in high school. I lettered in 3 things. Did anybody here letter when you were in school? What did you letter in? Awesome. Give it up for not remembering what you lettered in. That is the fair vibe if I've ever heard it. Well, I lettered in band, bowling, and drama. So I went to prom with a platonic gay male friend. That's right. I thought I was gonna have a serious boyfriend in high school and I would go to band camp and try to recruit guys, you know? I was like, let's go hang out in that soundproof practice room, you know? And they were like, do you know your part yet? Because our concert's next week, Jamie. I was like, okay, fine, I get it. But yeah, there's some band geeks right now, living it up, living their best life. All right, so. Okay, I'm sorry, this is so exciting, it's very hard to focus. But anyway, I'm getting towards the end here, so I'll leave you guys with this. You all are beautiful. My name's Jamie. Find me on Instagram, Jamie Tells Jokes. Keep it going for your host, James Blame, everybody. I'm sorry, that was not true. He's coming up next. Keep it going for your host, James Manning III's father. Right? Okay, well, there's another person that starts with a J coming up here. I can't tell you who, but it's going to happen.
Now, from the James Blame Comedy Crescendo, our next guest is Mr. James Blame himself. How about that? Big hand for James Blame.
Appreciate that. I think we're down here. You can go ahead. Yeah, right there. There you go. What's up, everybody? OCF, isn't this awesome? I am so glad to be here. This is so much fun. Give it up for your earlier comics, Jamie Colson and James Manning III. They're my pals. They're my funny friends. My name is James Blame. I have that worn tennis ball Dr. Phil look that's going on. It's all the rage right now. Helps me out a lot on dates. It really does. Before we get started here, I want to do a little something where I need a little bit of help. We're going to do something where you know you're at OCF, and then when I say that, you all say when, all right? So you know you're at the Oregon Country Fair. When the planes flying above your head aren't half as high as the staff is going to be tonight after this place closes. Yeah. You know you're at the Country Fair. When the musical performances are more warped than the Warped Tour. Heck yeah, I've been loving the music. I don't know about you. You know you're at the Oregon Country Fair. And the mosquitoes don't bite after 7 because they're afraid of developing an addiction. That's right. We'll do one more of these. You know you're at the Oregon Country Fair when you can get your pizza sliced tie-dyed. It's the only place it happens in the world, people, right here at the OCF. So glad to be here. I go out once in a while to eat. Anybody here ever been to the Panda Express? Right on. For those of you who have not, it's kind of like a glorified fast food Chinese place that's not even owned by Asians. So when you go in there, they have these gigantic vats of meat that have been cut into perfect squares and rectangles. Apparently they get all their meat from the Lego factory. I don't know. I didn't know whether to eat it or build a castle with it, honestly. And then my girlfriend's like, what kind of meat is this? And I'm like, it's panda. Didn't you see the sign when we walked in? I mean, she's like, no, it's not panda. I'm like, oh yeah? Why do I feel like eating bamboo leaves all of a sudden? Explain that one to me. I should probably eat better. You know, I probably should. I had to go to the doctor during the pandemic. Thank God it wasn't COVID. I don't know what it was, but whatever it was, it must have been bad, because he immediately prescribed me with a maximum dose of financial hardship. Yeah. And he sent me to a specialist. For those of you who don't know what a specialist does, that's the person who specializes in removing your personal assets. Yeah. And I gotta tell y'all, man, they jumped right into action. They did. They jumped right into action. They performed laser surgery on every one of my checking accounts. And they were thorough. They even scheduled me back in 6 months to remove any spare change they might have missed in the first procedure. Yeah. I still have cancer, but I can honestly say that my personal finances are in full remission, and that's all that matters, really. That's all that matters. I got a new job recently, you all. Thanks a lot. For those of you who didn't clap, I'll be breaking into your house tonight. No, I won't have to do that because I got a new job, man, and I can't tell you where the job is. I can only give you a hint. It's a center where they sell guitars. I know you'll be working on that back there for a while. It's a really cool job, man. It's one of the very few jobs you don't need a drug test for to get hired. But if you did need a drug test, you'd be required to fail, right? Mr. Blame, you've tested positive for every illegal substance known to law enforcement. We think you're executive material. And that's why we're prepared to offer you minimum wage. That's right. Yeah. It's a lot harder job than people realize. You have to be bilingual. Did you know that? See, I'm just here to raise awareness. That's what I'm doing. Yeah, man, you gotta be bilingual. You gotta speak fluent English, and you gotta speak fluent dude. You have any idea how much weed I gotta smoke in order to speak fluent dude? I am out there on my breaks, I'm smoking it, I'm eating it, I'm taking suppositories. Every time I tell that joke, I get the same question, so I'm just gonna go ahead and answer it for you all right now. Yes, I can sell you a suppository. See me after the show. I can do that. Anybody here like millennials? Excuse me. Anybody here like boomers? Let's go a different direction. Anybody? Nobody? I get the same reaction every time I ask people like boomers. You know why? Because we like to throw a lot of shade on the younger generation, don't we? You're always on your phones. You're always playing video games. We were young, we were outside, ruining your environment, sending your jobs overseas, messing up your health care. What the heck have you been doing? Trying to unpollute the rivers we poisoned? We just don't get that. We don't get it. Just trying to undo all the destruction we worked so hard to achieve. That's the same boomer conversation I've had with every boomer the last 3 years, so I just thought I'd repeat it for you. Yeah. Not so popular joke with the boomers. The millennials like that joke. They do. I think there's some relate there. Anybody here like beer? It's a loaded question, isn't it? Yeah. Like beer? Anybody drink IPAs? One person? We got a really clean crowd here, man. I'm gonna start doing Bible verses here. I love beer, man. I love beer, but I can't handle IPAs. You know, to me, they invented IPAs to involuntarily wean people off of beer, right? I mean, I'm pretty sure it stands for industrial poison alcohol. I don't know. It's just not my cup of tea. It tastes like grapefruit juice. Like, hey, I'll have another IPA. You've been drinking grapefruit juice all day, sir. Yeah. Anybody like wine? Anybody drink wine? One person back there. Cool, cool, cool. Another person over here. We're getting there. There's a few people coming clean. We'll have you all in jail by the end of this set. What kind of wine do you like? Do you like red, white? What do you do? That's a tough question. Yeah, right on. Me too, man. When I was younger, we used to drink a wine called MD 2020. I don't know if anybody's heard of that. Yeah. It's just like the wine you were talking about, only it has multiple uses, right? You can drink it. You can clean your jewelry with it. You can use it for jet fuel. And some people like to let their wine breathe. Ever hear that? You know, where you let your wine breathe? You can't do that with MD 2020 because it sucks all the oxygen out of the room and suffocates all your friends. A lot of my parties ended badly that way. We used to drink that a lot back in the day. That was what we were into. Now I'm more refined. I've gone to night train. You know. I did a lot of binge watching during the pandemic. I did. I watched a lot of ghost hunting shows. Anybody ever watch those? This guy, yeah. I'm pretty much convinced they're the worst hunters ever, aren't they? I mean, aren't these the people that couldn't make it in the real hunting world? I don't get it. You know, they don't even try to sneak up on the ghosts. They don't camouflage themselves. They don't spray any ghost urine on their shoes. They don't do none of that. And my question is how do they get the job in the first place? Do they advertise their 100% failure rate? I don't get it, man. And I gotta tell y'all, I just don't think the ghosts are all that concerned about getting caught, you know? I just don't think they're all that worried. I don't think an interdimensional being is all that worried about Dave and Amy living out their Scooby-Doo fantasy. I don't know. Maybe they can tell me why people are ghosting my texts. I'll hire them for that. Ever go to Walmart and burp so hard that you peed your pants? Yeah, that happened to me. It did. It was embarrassing. People were staring, whispering. Then it happened to me again a couple days later at Walmart. But it was no big deal at Walmart. Apparently they're used to that kind of thing there. The meth head woman in the pink jammies standing next to me didn't seem to mind at all. We're dating now. We're dating. It's a beautiful relationship. We're trying to move each other out of the Sudafed aisle and into the personal hygiene section. So it's coming. I'm glad you like that one. It's coming along great. Yeah. My single life is so awesome right now. When ants see other chocolate-covered ants, do they think they're sexy? I know, that's not really a joke. That's just stuff I think about when I'm doing mushrooms, basically. But that question does need to be answered, so somebody research that, okay, after we leave. I am from Eugene, the last 20 years. I'm originally from Detroit, Michigan. Moved to Eugene about 20 some odd years ago. And I really love it in Eugene because Eugene, we love weed, don't we? I mean, we are in love with weed. And for those of you who are from out of town, I'll explain this to you. We have days in Eugene where air inversions trap all the marijuana smoke on the valley floor and the whole town's ripped, whether they want to be or not. That's why the banks in Eugene don't give away free calendars like other banks do. They give away free Cheez-Its and a blanket. They're like, here, welcome to our bank. Hi, welcome to our bank. Here's some free Cheez-Its and a blanket. Go over there in the corner and take a nap. We'll open your account later. And let's face it, people, if you're stoned on weed, you've got no use whatsoever for a calendar, do you? Unless you could trade it for Cheez-Its, right? I also, I found out the hard way on the pandemic. They are checking for weed when they pull you over if you're using weed. Did anybody know that? They see, I am here to help you out, people. They are. You got to be really beware. And they have a foolproof low-tech system that you can't defeat. They're like, Mr. Blame, we're going to need you to place your hand in this bag of Doritos. And don't lick your fingers for 30 seconds. We know who got the ticket that day, don't we? Yeah, I had enough weed into me to get 40 tickets. So I got a 1 for 40. It was an awesome deal. That's the way I look at it. That's the way I look at it. Yeah, I am from Detroit, and I was talking to a buddy of mine from Detroit on the phone last year, and he was telling me how tough it is there, you know, how rough it is. And I'm just like, whoa, 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 dude. Stop right there. You don't know what tough is until you've lived in Eugene, Oregon, okay? I got caught disparaging a gluten-free diet at the deli. Found myself being pummeled with vegan cupcakes. That's right. Then the vegan police showed up and I got arrested. And I had to do 6 months, hard time, at the Holistic Wellness Center. That's right, people. I was tossing salad with the cereal dairy consumer. Think about that, where you tell me how tough Detroit is. We're progressive in Eugene, and I love it. By the way, I ate all those cupcakes they pummeled me with. So it was no big deal. What else we got here? I have kids. Anybody here have kids? Okay, anybody here have mothers? Oh, one guy had kids. All right, cool. Right on. I thought I was on an alien planet there for a minute. I do, I have kids. I have, and when my son, I have a son, and when he was 5 years old, I did what all fathers do with their 5-year-old sons. It's kind of like a rite of passage. I'm sure you guys know about this. You take them to Costco and teach them how to buy in bulk, right? Isn't that an essential life skill, right? So I took them to Costco, you know, and I'm pumping them full of the free snacks because that's what we do. And we found this gigantic container of Comet Cleanser, right? The kind with the extra 50%. Let me tell you all something, people. All my cleanser worries were solved that day, okay? I even updated my will so that surviving relatives could have the leftover Comet when I died, right? I was set for life. And I got home. I wasn't even home for 10 minutes, and I see this giant Comet Cleanser mushroom cloud coming out of my bathroom, right? So I go blasting into the bathroom, and there's my 5-year-old son shaking out all my Comet, all over everything, all over my towels, on my clean blankets, everything, right? A lot of you guys would have lost your cool. You would have flipped out. This is exactly what I did. It's like, dude, what the heck are you doing? He's like, I'm cleaning. And I'm like, thank you. Hate it when kids are smarter than me. It's like, dude, go outside and play, okay? By the way, your shoes are on the wrong feet. He's like, no, Dad, these are my feet. And I'm like, thank you. I put him up for adoption after that. I also have a daughter. And when my kids were young, their mother died, which is not funny when they were really young. But what is funny is me trying to coach my 14-year-old daughter through her first period right after her first boyfriend dumped her. Yeah, Talk about being unequipped to deal with the situation. I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm offering her tinfoil and plastic wrap. Nothing's working, right? Nothing's working. And I tell y'all, I lived in Eugene for 20 years. I still don't know where the tampon store is. I drive around, I look for it. Just don't know where it is. I just know there's one aisle in the grocery store I never venture down. People are too cranky in that aisle. And it's not just women, by the way, it's guys too. So, you know, I just want to make her feel better, right? It's a bad situation, she's crying and stuff. I'm just like, I'm gonna try to say something, make her feel better, right? I'm like, look, honey, it could have been a lot worse. Could have been a lot worse. That fool could have knocked you up. You'd have to deal with that loser the rest of your life. He's like, I know, it's what happened to my mom. See what I get for trying to help, right? Right? I'm like, here's some duct tape, you're on your own. All right, man, I'm gonna leave you with this. I love protests. You know, everybody has the right to protest, and I think that's important. Peaceful protests, by the way. I think that's really important. We need to get the word out there that we're not happy, and hopefully we can bring some change. And one of the things I noticed during the protests was I would rather be in charge of the crowd control, because I wouldn't be spraying them with tear gas. I'd be spraying them with laughing gas, all right? I mean, spray them with laughing gas, throw some edibles out there, roll a few liters of Mountain Dew. There'll be no property damage that night, people. That's the way you handle protests in the future. I want to, before I get off the stage, I want to thank Chez for having us and the Country Fair for having us. And I want to thank all you for showing up for the show. Thanks a lot for coming. We really appreciate it. And we hope to see you again. We have one more show tomorrow at 2:30. If anybody wants some more laughs, come on by and check us out. And thank you all so much. Take care, man, and have a great fair.